Have you ever wondered why some people find such deep peace and fulfillment in their own company, especially as they grow older? In this video, we're going to explore the powerful reasons why solitude can be one of life's greatest gifts. We'll dive into the unique qualities that define individuals who embrace solitude, from their passion for learning to their deep connection with nature and the calm acceptance of life's impermanence. Stay with us until the end, as you'll discover how these insights could not only change your perspective on alone time, but also reveal how solitude can help you grow, heal, and live a richer, more fulfilling life. This intro sets up the exploration of solitude and its benefits, with the promise of valuable insights by the end. If you haven't yet subscribed, I highly recommend doing so and activating the notification bell to ensure you never miss a video. Your support means a lot to me as we continue to grow our community and reach more people with our content. If you enjoy the topic of this video, please leave a comment with the number 1. If it's not quite your cup of tea, drop a 0 in the comments. Your feedback is crucial in helping me create content that better serves you. Let's get started. 1. Deep curiosity and love for learning. There's something truly remarkable and deeply inspiring about individuals in the later stages of life who embrace solitude, not as a sign of isolation, but as an opportunity for growth. For them, quiet moments alone are like fertile ground where curiosity thrives and blooms into a deep, almost spiritual quest for understanding. This thirst for knowledge becomes a guiding force, compelling them to uncover the layers of the world that others might overlook. Their minds, far from slowing down, seem to race forward, eager to explore new horizons, uncover hidden truths, and engage with fresh perspectives. It's as if time itself becomes a companion, rather than an adversary, in their pursuit of enlightenment. Whether through devouring the pages of books that transport them to distant times and places, picking up hobbies they've always been intrigued by, but never had the chance to pursue, or engaging in deep, reflective self-study, their passion for learning is boundless. It's a flame that refuses to flicker out with age. Instead, it burns brighter, fueled by years of accumulated wisdom and the recognition that there is still so much to know. Take my dear friend, for example. She's in her late 60s now, and while many might expect someone her age to slow down, she has done the exact opposite. Each afternoon, she disappears into her little world, a world filled with the fascinating stories of history and the profound musings of philosophy. Historical documentaries become her window to the past, and thick, dense philosophy books are her companions as she dives into questions that have perplexed minds for centuries. When she talks about these subjects, her entire demeanor shifts. Her eyes light up with the same excitement you'd expect from a child discovering something new for the very first time. There's a fire in her voice, an energy in her words that makes you want to sit and listen to her for hours. What's most beautiful, though, is the way she views her time alone. It's not just an escape from the world, it's a sanctuary. In solitude, she finds the perfect conditions to nurture her mind, to let it wander freely without the distractions of daily life. For her, those quiet, undisturbed moments are like a sacred garden where the seeds of curiosity can be planted and allowed to flourish. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. It's in these moments of stillness that her intellect truly thrives. She has the time to ponder, reflect, and absorb new information in a way that feels deeply meaningful to her. The world outside may be noisy and chaotic, but within the quiet walls of her mind, there is endless space to explore, learn, and grow. Solitude for her is not a retreat, it's a gift that allows her to continuously engage with life in a vibrant and fulfilling way. And as she grows older, that love for learning only deepens, becoming not just a pastime, but a lifelong companion that keeps her connected to the ever-expanding world of ideas. 2. Comfort in stillness. As we journey through life and the years pass by, it often feels as if the world is spinning faster and faster, with each day blurring into the next. The pace of life can be overwhelming, especially in a society that seems to worship busyness and constant motion. Yet for those who have come to embrace solitude, there is an incredible sense of comfort found in stillness. It's a comfort that isn't just about slowing down, but about truly being present in the moment, about sinking into the beauty of simply existing without the need for constant stimulation or achievement. These individuals have learned over time that stillness is not synonymous with inactivity or boredom. It's a rich and powerful state of being that brings both clarity and peace. It's about allowing themselves the freedom to just be, to pause and breathe, to feel the subtle rhythms of life around them without rushing to the next task or distraction. This is a skill that often takes years to cultivate, a lesson learned from the experiences and wisdom that come with age. They've realized that stillness offers something far more valuable than the fleeting rewards of productivity. It offers connection, both to the world around them and to their inner selves. One particular story comes to mind, shared by an older gentleman on an online forum. He spoke with such quiet reverence about his morning ritual, a simple yet profoundly meaningful routine that he'd come to treasure. Each day he would wake up early, before the world had fully stirred, and sit by his window with a cup of tea. He wouldn't read or watch television or even listen to music. He would just sit there, gazing out at the world as it slowly awakened. The trees swaying gently in the breeze, the birds beginning to sing, the sunlight filtering through the leaves. These were the sights and sounds that greeted him each morning. This daily practice, as he described it, wasn't about doing nothing. It was about grounding himself, finding peace in the small, quiet moments before the day's demands began to tug at his attention. It allowed him to start each day with a sense of calm and purpose, a kind of gentle reset that reconnected him with his sense of being. In those moments of stillness, he felt more in tune with himself than at any other point in the day. For him, and for many others who have learned to cherish solitude, stillness is not something to be avoided or feared. Instead, it is a gift of space in which they can retreat from the noise and chaos of the world and simply exist, fully present and at peace. This stillness provides a chance to reflect, to listen to the whispers of their thoughts and feelings, and to let go of the pressures that weigh so heavily on all of us. It's a kind of mindfulness that transcends the need for constant activity or accomplishment, offering instead a deeper fulfillment that comes from being at one with the present moment. In a world that constantly urges us to go faster, to do more, and to achieve endlessly, those who find comfort in stillness have discovered a rare and precious wisdom. They know that the true richness of life can often be found not in the hustle and bustle, but in the quiet, unhurried moments where time seems to stand still and the beauty of existence unfolds in its simplest form. 3. Strong connection to nature. For many older individuals who cherish their time alone, nature has become more than just a backdrop to their lives. It's a source of profound solace and inspiration. This connection to the earth transcends the simple act of being outdoors. It's about feeling a deep, unspoken bond with the world around them, a relationship that nurtures both the body and the soul. Nature becomes a sanctuary, a place where they can retreat to reflect, find peace, and reconnect with something larger than themselves. Whether they're taking a leisurely walk through the woods, spending time in the garden, or simply sitting quietly in a park, the natural world offers them a space to recharge, breathe deeply, and feel a sense of belonging that is both grounding and uplifting. For many of these individuals, nature is not just a place to escape, but a place to engage. It's in the dirt under their fingernails, the wind on their faces, and the quiet rustle of leaves that they find clarity, comfort, and a renewed sense of purpose. Gardening, in particular, is often spoken of with reverence, not as a chore or mere pastime, but as a meditative practice that provides balance and fulfillment. Tending to plants becomes an act of devotion, a way to nurture life in its simplest, most beautiful form. Every seed planted, every flower that blooms, and every weed pulled is part of a larger, ongoing cycle that mirrors the rhythms of their own lives. Through this connection, they find meaning over time, in the inevitable changes that come with it, and in the quiet, unhurried growth that nature embodies. I'm reminded of a woman I know who spends countless hours in her garden, not because she has to, but because she wants to. For her, this isn't just a hobby, it's a way of life. She moves through her garden with a sense of purpose and peace, her hands gently tending to each plant, as if it were a cherished friend. Every morning she steps outside, breathing in the fresh air and taking in the sight of the vibrant colors and the steady growth that surrounds her. The garden is her sanctuary, a place where time seems to slow down and the worries of the world fade into the background. For her, the act of nurturing her plants is deeply symbolic. Each one is a reminder of the cycles of life, the way things grow, change, and eventually fade, only to begin again. There is beauty in this rhythm, a kind of quiet wisdom that she feels privileged to be a part of. Watching her garden flourish brings her a profound sense of accomplishment, not because of the outcome, but because of the care and attention she gives to each step of the process. It's in the slow, deliberate work of gardening that she finds her peace, a connection to something greater than herself, something that reminds her of the quiet strength that comes from growth, patience, and nurturing. This bond with nature, whether through gardening, hiking, or simply spending time outdoors, is a reflection of the wisdom that comes with age. It's an understanding that life, like the seasons, moves in cycles, that there is beauty in both the blooming and the fading, in the stillness and the growth. For those who have learned to appreciate this connection, nature becomes a companion, a teacher, and a constant source of inspiration. It offers them the space to slow down, to listen, and to find meaning in the simple, yet profound, act of being present in the world around them. In a time where the world often feels fast-paced and overwhelming, these individuals have found a way to ground themselves through their connection with nature. They've discovered that true peace can be found not in the rush of everyday life, but in the quiet moments spent in the presence of the earth's beauty and resilience. This connection reminds them that, just like the plants they tend, they too are part of the larger cycles of life, growing, changing, and finding strength in the natural rhythms that guide us all. 4. Selective social interactions. As people age, those who cherish their solitude often become more discerning about their social interactions. It's not that they shy away from the company of others or no longer enjoy meaningful relationships, but rather, they've gained a deeper understanding of the importance of quality over quantity when it comes to human connections. Years of experience have taught them that not every relationship is worth maintaining, and not every gathering is worth attending. Instead, they've come to value the depth of their interaction, seeking out relationships that bring genuine joy, intellectual stimulation, and emotional fulfillment. These individuals have learned the subtle art of balancing social interaction with the need for personal space. They've realized that there is no need to fill their lives with countless acquaintances or frequent social obligations. Instead, they focus on building and maintaining bonds with those who truly matter, people who align with their values, understand their need for solitude, and respect their boundaries. In this way, they protect their emotional energy, ensuring that when they do engage with others, the interaction is meaningful and enriching. I'm reminded of a retired teacher I once had the pleasure of meeting. Over the years, she had gradually reduced her social circle, not out of a desire to isolate herself, but because she no longer felt the need to keep up with every social event or acquaintance. She had spent decades surrounded by people, students, colleagues, and friends, and by the time she retired, she had come to a place of clarity about what kind of relationships truly nourished her. No longer driven by the need to be part of every social circle, she found peace in spending time with a select few individuals who brought positivity and depth into her life. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Her decision to step away from the constant hustle of social obligations wasn't a rejection of companionship, rather. It was an affirmation of the value she placed on her own time and energy. She told me how she used to feel obligated to attend every party, every coffee date, every get-together, even when the conversations felt shallow or draining. But as she grew older, she realized that her time was too precious to waste on relationships that didn't uplift or inspire her. Instead, she began to focus on nurturing the few deep connections she had, those with friends and family who truly understood and supported her. In these select relationships, she found a richness that far surpassed the surface-level interaction she had once felt compelled to maintain. By investing in fewer, but more meaningful, connections, she was able to cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment. These were the people who truly saw her, who respected her need for space and independence, and who brought a sense of positivity and mutual respect into her life. As she put it, she no longer spread herself thin trying to please everyone. Instead, she reserved her time and energy for those who mattered most. This selective approach to socializing reflects a deeper wisdom that comes with age, the understanding that it's not about how many people you know, but about how well you know yourself and those few who truly connect with you. For those who embrace solitude, social interaction becomes a choice, not an obligation. They no longer feel the pressure to keep up appearances or maintain superficial relationships. Instead, they focus on cultivating meaningful connections that add value to their lives without compromising their need for alone time. This balance allows them to live more authentically, spending time both with others and with themselves in a way that honors their true nature. It's in this selective approach to relationships that they find peace, fulfillment, and the freedom to nurture both their inner world and the few, cherished connections that bring joy to their outer world. 5. Contentment with simplicity. There's an unmistakable elegance in the way many older individuals who cherish solitude have embraced a life of simplicity. Over the years, they've gradually learned to shed the weight of excess, focusing instead on the things that truly bring them joy and peace. It's not about the quantity of what they own or the grandiosity of their surroundings, but about finding contentment in the essential. Through this simplicity, they've discovered a freedom that comes from living with intention, unburdened by the distractions of materialism or unnecessary complexity. For many, this journey towards simplicity reflects a deeper understanding of what matters. They've moved beyond the superficial desires for more possessions, more achievements, more status, and have come to appreciate the quiet beauty. It's about finding happiness in the little things, the warmth of a cup of tea on a quiet morning, the pleasure of preparing a homemade meal, or the peace of a walk through nature. These simple pleasures are no longer overlooked. They are savored, appreciated, and celebrated as the true sources of contentment. I recall a conversation with an older gentleman who had downsized his life significantly after retiring. He had made the conscious decision to let go of many of the things that once cluttered his life, both physically and emotionally. His home was modest, small but inviting, and his possessions were few, a stark contrast to the accumulation of things that had filled his earlier years. But what struck me most was how much joy he found in the simplicity of his routine. Each day, he would cook his meals from scratch, savoring the process of selecting fresh ingredients and transforming them into something nourishing. He would take long walks with his dog, enjoying the quiet companionship and the rhythm of their daily outings through the park. In speaking with him, it was clear that this simplicity was not something he settled for, but something he actively chose and embraced. He spoke with such satisfaction about how much lighter and freer he felt after letting go of the excess that once consumed his life. The big house, the endless possessions, the need to always do more, they had all been replaced by something far more meaningful, a sense of peace that came from living deliberately and with purpose. His days were not filled with things, but with moments, genuine, rich moments that brought him a deep and abiding contentment. This shift towards simplicity is not uncommon among those who enjoy their own company. They have learned that true happiness doesn't come from the clutter of possessions or the constant chase for more. Instead, it comes from focusing on what matters: the relationships, the experiences, and the small joys that often go unnoticed in the hustle of life. Whether it's a minimalist lifestyle, a small but cozy living space, or a daily routine that prioritizes calm and clarity, these individuals find fulfillment in the essentials. They have discovered that less is often more, and that by letting go of what is unnecessary, they can more fully embrace what brings them peace and joy. In their simplicity, there's a certain wisdom or recognition that the pursuit of material wealth or social status pales in comparison to the richness of a life lived with intention. They've learned to find beauty in the ordinary and to take pleasure in the everyday. This contentment with simplicity doesn't mean they've given up on life's pleasures. Rather, they've refined their focus, choosing to invest their time and energy in the things that truly make their hearts happy. In a world that often values accumulation and complexity, those who live simply have found a rare and precious freedom. They've stripped away the distractions, the noise, and the excess, and in doing so, have uncovered a life filled with meaning, joy, and contentment. It's a life not measured by what they have, but by the richness of their experiences, the depth of their relationships, and the peace they find in the quiet moments of the everyday. 6. Self-reliance and practical wisdom. With the passing of years often comes a rich reservoir of practical wisdom, the kind that can only be acquired through life's experiences, trials, and triumphs. For those who have embraced solitude, self-reliance becomes a natural companion. It's not about isolation or refusing help when it's needed. Rather, it's about cultivating the ability to trust oneself, to navigate life's challenges with a calm, measured approach, and to solve problems using one's skills and knowledge. This kind of independence fosters a deep sense of empowerment, where the individual feels capable of handling whatever life throws their way. People who cherish solitude often develop a heightened sense of resourcefulness. They have learned that relying on their instincts and abilities is not only possible but deeply fulfilling. This self-reliance, however, doesn't stem from stubbornness. It comes from an inner confidence, a knowledge that they have what it takes to meet their own needs and make wise decisions. It's a quiet, steady strength, one that provides both emotional and practical security. One of my favorite stories that illustrates this self-reliance is of an older woman I once knew. After her husband passed away, she found herself in a position where she needed to manage her home on her own. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or dependent on others to handle things for her, she decided to take matters into her own hands literally. She took up carpentry, determined to learn the skills necessary to maintain her home without having to rely on anyone else. What began as a necessity quickly grew into a passion. Over time, she became quite skilled at repairing furniture, fixing things around the house, and even building new pieces. Her garage slowly transformed into a workshop filled with tools and projects, a space that symbolized not just her ability to keep things in order, but her newfound sense of independence. Her journey into carpentry wasn't just about practicality, it was about reclaiming control over her life in a way that felt empowering. Each piece of furniture she repaired, and each shelf she built, was a testament to her ability to care for herself and her home. She spoke often of how much confidence it gave her, knowing that she could handle the challenges that came her way. The sense of accomplishment she felt after fixing something with her own hands was more than just pride in the work. It was a reflection of her inner strength, a reminder that even in the face of loss, she could stand strong and capable. This kind of practical wisdom and self-reliance isn't unique to many older individuals who enjoy their own company have developed similar skills. They've learned how to balance independence with the knowledge of when to seek help, but more often than not, they are equipped to manage their own needs. Whether it's learning how to fix something around the house, navigating financial decisions, or making important life choices, their years of experience have given them the tools to do so with grace and competence. Self-reliance in this context isn't just about practicality, it's deeply tied to a sense of empowerment. It's the feeling that comes from knowing that you are capable of taking care of yourself and that you don't need to rely on others for every little thing. This independence brings with it a kind of freedom, a release from the fear of helplessness or dependency. It also allows for a more meaningful connection with others when help is genuinely needed, as it is sought from a place of strength, not desperation. For those who have honed their self-reliance over the years, the ability to solve problems on their terms is a source of great pride. It's not about avoiding help, but about understanding when and how to ask for it, while also recognizing and honoring their capabilities. This balance between independence and wisdom is one of the many gifts that come with age, allowing them to face life's challenges with calmness, confidence, and a deep-seated sense of inner peace. In a world that often pushes for dependence on others, be it through technology, services, or relationships, there is something profoundly empowering about the ability to rely on oneself. This self-reliance is a quiet strength, one that doesn't seek attention but provides a foundation for living a life of dignity and control. For those who have learned to master it, this independence is not just a skill, it's a way of life, one that brings both freedom and fulfillment. 7. Appreciation for solitude as a source of renewal. For many older individuals, solitude isn't merely a preference or a habit, it's a crucial source of rejuvenation. It's in these sacred moments of quiet that they find the space to recharge, reflect, and restore their energy. What others might view as isolation, they see as a chance to reconnect with their inner selves, a practice that keeps their mind and spirit in balance. Over the years, they've come to understand that solitude is not something to be feared or avoided, but rather a space to be embraced for its immense healing and renewing qualities. Time spent alone provides an opportunity to step back from the chaos of the outside world and tune into the stillness within. For those who have mastered the art of solitude, these moments become a sanctuary, a time to listen to their thoughts, process emotions, and find peace away from the demands of daily life. They recognize that this space allows them to regain the strength they need to face the world with a clearer mind and a more grounded heart. I've had the privilege of hearing many stories from older individuals who have made solitude an essential part of their routine, describing it as a lifeline for their well-being. One woman in her early 70s shared how she retreats to her small cabin in the woods for a week every few months. For her, this time away from the world isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. In the quiet of the forest, she feels most alive, most herself. She wakes up to the sounds of nature, breathes in the crisp morning air, and allows herself the space to just be. This retreat is her way of pressing pause on the noise of life, a time to reflect and reset. In the solitude of her cabin, she feels a deep connection with her inner self, a sense of clarity that the busyness of the world rarely affords her. She speaks of it as a kind of spiritual renewal, a time to sift through her thoughts, let go of the clutter in her mind, and emerge with a sense of calm and purpose. When she returns to her everyday life, she does so with a renewed sense of clarity, strength, and focus. She's not just escaping the world for a while, she's renewing her relationship with herself, tending to her own needs in a way that only solitude can provide. For many older individuals, this kind of alone time is not just restorative, but deeply transformative. They've learned that solitude offers a rare chance to reconnect with what truly matters. It's in these moments of quiet that they can hear their thoughts more clearly, reflect on their life experiences, and find a sense of peace that the constant presence of peace there. Solitude gives them the space to process emotions, to heal from the difficulties of life, and to find a deeper understanding of themselves and their place in the world. What's most remarkable is how these individuals have redefined solitude as a source of strength rather than loneliness. They don't view being alone as something to avoid or fear, but as an opportunity for self-care and personal growth. It's during these quiet times that they find their center, recharge their energy, and prepare themselves to re-engage with the world. They return from their solitude not weakened by isolation, but empowered by the deep renewal they've experienced. In a society that often values constant activity and social interaction, the ability to find peace and strength in solitude is a rare gift. Those who have learned to embrace these moments alone have discovered the immense power of simply being with themselves. They've tapped into a well of inner strength that can only be found in silence, and in doing so, they've unlocked a key to lasting well-being. Solitude for them is not just about being alone, it's about finding renewal. It's a time to reflect, to heal, and to emerge stronger, more focused, and more at peace with themselves and the world around them. 8. Calm acceptance of life's impermanence. As people grow older and spend more time in quiet reflection, many come to find a profound peace in the understanding that nothing in life is permanent. This calm acceptance of impermanence is one of the greatest gifts that comes with age, a lesson learned through experiencing both the joys and sorrows that life inevitably brings. For those who cherish solitude, this acceptance isn't something forced upon them, but rather a gentle realization that allows them to live with grace, serenity, and an open heart. They've lived through life's highs and lows, losses, changes, and transformations, and in doing so, have come to embrace the idea that everything is temporary, and that's perfectly okay. This acceptance brings a sense of equanimity, a quiet calm that allows them to appreciate the present without clinging too tightly to what is past or worrying about what may come. It's a realization that the ebb and flow of life, its moments of joy and pain, are all part of a larger cycle, and that resisting this natural rhythm only leads to suffering. Instead, they choose to find peace in the here and now, to savor the moments of beauty and reflection, knowing that everything has its time and place. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment on number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. I'm reminded of an older man I once knew who often spoke about the many changes in his life with a kind of wistful yet peaceful acceptance. He had lived through many phases, seen friends come and go, moved from one place to another, and experienced the inevitable losses that time brings. Yet, rather than dwelling on what was no longer there, he seemed to find solace in reflecting on the richness of those experiences. The memories of old friends, the places he had called home, and the different stages of his life were not sources of sadness, but rather cherished parts of his story. He would spend long hours in quiet solitude, not as an escape from life, but as a way to honor it. His time alone was a space for reflection, for looking back with gratitude rather than regret, and for finding contentment in where he was now. He understood that each chapter, no matter how fleeting, had shaped him into the person he had become, and that every joy and sorrow had contributed to his growth. This acceptance didn't mean he was indifferent to loss or change. It meant that he had learned to carry those experiences with him in a way that enriched his present, rather than weighing him down. For many older individuals, this calm acceptance of life's impermanence allows them to live with a deeper sense of peace. They no longer feel the need to resist the natural course of things, or to try to hold on to what is slipping away. Instead, they've learned to let go with grace, trusting that each moment, each experience, serves its purpose and then makes room for the next. This perspective gives them a remarkable resilience and ability to face life's inevitable changes with open arms, knowing that every ending is also a beginning, and every loss creates space for something new. Their solitude becomes a sacred time to reflect on the ebb and flow of life, to find meaning in the changes they've experienced, and to cultivate a sense of gratitude for both the good and the difficult times. They see life not as a series of gains and losses, but as a continuous journey of transformation, where nothing is permanent, yet everything is meaningful. This acceptance of impermanence doesn't diminish their love for life. If anything, it deepens it. By understanding that everything is temporary, they can fully appreciate the beauty of the present moment without fear of losing it. In a world that often seeks to deny or escape the reality of change, those who have embraced impermanence live with a rare kind of freedom. They are no longer weighed down by the past or anxious about the future. Instead, they move through life with a quiet, steady calm, finding peace in the knowledge that everything has its time, and when that time is up, it's okay to let go. This wisdom allows them to live with a sense of grace, contentment, and profound inner peace, no matter what life may bring. 9. Thoughtful approach to decision-making. For many older individuals who find comfort in solitude, decision-making becomes an intentional and thoughtful process. Over the years, they've cultivated a patient, reflective approach to choices, understanding the importance of weighing their options carefully and considering the potential consequences of their actions. This wisdom, earned through a lifetime of experiences, has shown them that rushing into decisions often invites unnecessary complications. Instead, they have learned the value of pausing, taking their time to fully consider their choices, and allowing space for clarity to emerge. This deliberate approach to decision-making is not only practical but deeply connected to their inner wisdom. Having encountered various challenges and opportunities throughout life, they've come to understand that the best decisions are rarely made in haste. For them, the process of deciding is more than just solving a problem. It's about aligning their choices with their values, long-term goals, and what truly matters to them. This introspective approach to decision-making is a reflection of their desire to live purposefully, ensuring that their actions are thoughtful, intentional, and in harmony with the life they wish to lead. I recall a conversation with an older woman who exemplified this kind of mindful decision-making. She spoke of how she relished the quiet moments she had to herself, especially when faced with important decisions. Whether it was something significant, like considering a move to a new city, or something as simple as picking up a new hobby, she always took the time to sit with her thoughts. Rather than being overwhelmed by the choices before her, she welcomed the solitude as an opportunity to connect with her wisdom. Sometimes she would journal her thoughts, putting pen to paper to untangle her feelings. Other times she would take long, peaceful walks, allowing the fresh air and rhythm of her footsteps to clear her mind. For her, these moments of solitude weren't just a break from the decision-making process, they were an essential part of it. She found that stepping back, giving herself space to reflect, and listening to her inner voice helped her make decisions that felt right, not just in the moment, but in the long run. She spoke of how these quiet, introspective times allowed her to tap into a deeper sense of wisdom, a part of herself that was calm, centered, and clear-headed. This approach to decision-making wasn't about avoiding choices or delaying action, it was about ensuring that her decisions aligned with her core values and the kind of life she wanted to create. By taking her time, she ensured that her decisions were well-considered and thoughtful, avoiding the pitfalls of rushing into things. She had seen, over the years, how impulsive decisions often led to unnecessary complications or regrets. In contrast, her more deliberate approach brought her a sense of peace, knowing that her choices were carefully made with her best interests in mind. Whether the decision was large or small, she approached it with the same level of care and mindfulness, understanding that every choice shaped the path of her life. This thoughtful approach to decision-making is a hallmark of many older individuals who cherish solitude. They've learned that decisions made with patience and reflection often lead to more fulfilling outcomes. In the quiet moments of solitude, they have the opportunity to sift through their thoughts, consider the pros and cons, and envision the potential impact of their choices. By giving themselves the gift of time and reflection, they avoid the stress and confusion that comes with rushed decisions. This mindful way of approaching decisions also helps them stay true to their values. Rather than being swayed by external pressures or fleeting emotions, they make choices that resonate with their long-term goals and personal beliefs. In this way, they ensure that their actions are aligned with the life they want to live, rather than being reactive to immediate circumstances. This kind of decision-making brings them a sense of fulfillment and confidence, knowing that they've made choices from a place of wisdom and intention. Ultimately, for those who value solitude, decision-making becomes not just about the result, but about the process of connecting with oneself. It's about creating space to listen to their intuition, to reflect on their experiences, and to make choices that feel authentic and purposeful. This thoughtful, deliberate approach leads to a life lived with greater intention, where each decision is a step toward a more meaningful and fulfilling future. 10. Passion for personal projects. For many older individuals who find peace in solitude, personal projects become a source of profound joy and fulfillment. These projects, often rooted in creativity, craftsmanship, or quiet contribution, serve as a meaningful outlet for self-expression and continued growth. Whether through writing, painting, building, or volunteering from the comfort of their own space, they pour their energy into pursuits that align with their passions and interests. What may have started as a hobby often transforms into a deep sense of purpose, offering them not only a way to pass the time, but also an opportunity to contribute something of value to principle. These personal projects, often pursued in the tranquility of solitude, provide a space where they can reconnect with themselves and engage in work that brings them a sense of accomplishment. After years of obligations, routines, and deadlines, they find in these moments of creation a way to explore their inner worlds, challenge themselves, and learn new skills. The process of crafting something with their hands, designing something beautiful, or working toward a meaningful cause becomes a powerful source of fulfillment, fueling a passion that only seems to deepen with time. One individual who comes to mind is a retired engineer I knew, who discovered a love for woodworking after stepping away from the structured, high-pressure environment of his career. His home workshop became his sanctuary, a place where time slowed down, and he could lose himself in the craft of building intricate pieces of furniture. He approached each project with the same precision and care that he had applied to his engineering work, but with the freedom and creativity that had been missing in his professional life. He would spend hours in the quiet solitude of his workshop, the sound of his tools and the smell of freshly cut wood surrounding him. This new passion gave him a deep sense of peace and satisfaction that he hadn't experienced during his working years. It wasn't just about the final product, though he was immensely proud of the beautiful tables, chairs, and cabinets he created, but about the process itself. The act of working with his hands, of turning raw materials into something functional and beautiful, brought him a sense of purpose and accomplishment that filled his days with meaning. These personal projects became more than just hobbies for him. They were a way of continuing to learn, to challenge himself, and to contribute in a meaningful way. He didn't need the validation of others. The joy he felt came from within, from the simple act of creating something of value with his own hands. His projects allowed him to tap into the deep well of satisfaction that comes from doing something you love, not for recognition, but for the pure pleasure of it. For many older individuals, this passion for personal projects offers a way to stay engaged with life. Even as the demands of work and family obligations lessen, these projects provide a sense of pride and purpose, a way to keep their minds sharp and their spirits alive. Whether it's through artistic expression, building something with their hands, or contributing quietly to a cause they care about, these individuals find fulfillment in the knowledge that they are still learning, still growing, and still making a difference in their unique way. In solitude, they discover the freedom to pursue these passions without the distractions or pressures of the outside world. It becomes a time of renewal, a way to tap into their creativity and channel it into something that resonates with their soul. As they work on their projects, they experience a kind of peace that comes from knowing they are doing something they love, something that brings both joy and purpose to their lives. Ultimately, these personal projects represent much more than a way to pass the time. They are a reflection of who they are and what they value. They are a testament to the idea that, no matter your age, there is always room for creativity, growth, and contribution. For those who cherish solitude, these projects become a cherished part of their lives, offering them a way to continue engaging with the world, learning new skills, and finding fulfillment in the simple, meaningful work of their hands and hearts. 11. A balanced perspective on life. As people age, those who embrace solitude often cultivate a profound understanding of life's natural ebb and flow. With the passage of time and the accumulation of life's lessons, they come to see that joy and hardship are inseparable companions on the journey of existence. Each triumph and tribulation is viewed not in isolation, but as part of a greater tapestry. Through this lens, they meet life's challenges with a serene acceptance, grounded in the wisdom that no storm lasts forever, and that even the darkest days hold within them the seeds of growth and renewal. I vividly recall an older gentleman I once had the privilege of speaking with. His life, like many, was a tapestry of success and sorrow, woven with moments of triumph and threads of loss. As he shared his story, it became clear that his time spent in solitude had gifted him a unique clarity. He had learned to sit with his memories, not as a burden, but as a means to deepen his understanding of life's inherent balance. He spoke not of clinging to past glories or fearing future uncertainties, but of savoring the present, the quiet joy of a morning breeze, the peaceful moments that many overlook. Challenges, he said, had become for him not obstacles to be feared, but opportunities to grow, to transform, and to learn. His unwavering calm in the face of life's unpredictability was inspiring. It wasn't a detachment from reality, but rather a deep, soulful connection to the truth that life, in all its ups and downs, is a dance of contrasts. His resilience and peace were not the absence of hardship, but the wisdom gained from it, allowing him to live with a sense of inner peace, deeply rooted in the present moment. Through this balanced perspective, he had found a way to not just endure life, but to embrace it fully, with both grace and gratitude. 12. Appreciation for silence. For those who cherish solitude, stillness takes on a new meaning, blossoming into something much more profound than the mere absence of sound. In a world overwhelmed by constant noise and relentless distractions, stillness becomes a sacred sanctuary, a place where the mind can wander freely, where one can rediscover the soft murmur of their thoughts. It's not about fleeing the clamor of everyday life, but about welcoming the gentle quiet that allows for a deeper connection with oneself. I fondly remember an elderly woman who embodied this serene relationship with silence. Every evening, after the rush of the day had subsided, she would find a quiet corner, turn off the TV, silence her phone, and simply be. She didn't need any external stimulation. Her company was enough. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Whether she reflected on the day or simply listened to the gentle whispers of the night, these moments of stillness became a refuge. She spoke of how these quiet moments helped her regain balance, offering her the clarity to reflect and the peace to meditate on life's intricate weave. Her nightly ritual wasn't just about relaxing, but about immersing herself in the restorative power of silence, a time when the world's demands receded, leaving her alone with her thoughts. It was during these quiet moments that she felt most centered, her mind clear, her spirit refreshed. For her, and for so many others who treasured their time alone, the stillness was not an empty void, it was a canvas upon which inner peace was painted. It became a vital, nourishing force, reminding her that sometimes, in the stillness, we can hear the most profound truths of all. 13. ability to find joy in solitary activities. As people grow older, those who embrace solitude often unlock the ability to find profound joy in solitary pursuits. They've come to understand that being alone doesn't equate to loneliness or inactivity, it's quite the opposite. Solitude opens the door to a world of personal fulfillment, where hobbies and passions become sources of deep satisfaction. Whether it's knitting, painting, bird watching, writing, or simply enjoying a quiet walk through nature, these individuals have mastered the art of savoring their own company. I once knew a retired librarian who exemplified this beautifully. She would rise early every morning, grab her binoculars and sketchbook, and make her way to a nearby park. For hours, she would sit quietly, observing the birds, marveling at their grace, and capturing their delicate features on paper. For her, bird watching and sketching were not just hobbies, they were windows into a deeper connection with the world around her. Each solitary moment spent watching the birds, each careful stroke of her pencil, brought her immense peace and a sense of wonder. She spoke often of how these solitary activities weren't simply ways to pass the time, they filled her soul with creativity, calm, and a genuine joy that permeated every aspect of her life. These moments alone were a vital part of her existence, providing her with both inspiration and a space for reflection. Her ability to find joy in such simple, solitary acts speaks to a deeper truth that solitude, when embraced, is not something to fear, but rather a gift that allows us to connect with the world in a more intimate and meaningful way. For those who may feel hesitant about spending time alone, there is comfort in knowing that solitude can be one of life's greatest teachers. It provides the opportunity to explore new passions, to grow, to heal, and to discover the depths of joy that lie within. Embrace it fully, and you may find that in solitude you're never truly alone. You're with your thoughts, your passions, and the endless beauty that surrounds you. As we come to the end of this journey, I'd love to hear from you. What have you learned so far from the wisdom and beauty of solitude we've explored? Take a moment to reflect and share in the comments below what's one thing you've discovered that you plan to bring into your own life. Whether it's finding joy in solitary activities, embracing the quiet, or learning to appreciate life's balance, your insights are valuable, and we'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss any future content. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.